Hello everyone, welcome to our second YouTube Next.js tutorial series. So in this video, we'll be going through basic project setup for Next.js, and then we'll also create few pages to see how it works. So as you can see, I have already set up the project in my local space, but if you haven't already set up, you can just go ahead on do that. So just go to the next.org website and go to the getting started. Then there you will see in the setup heading, you will see two commands. One is for npx and other one is for yarn. So if you have already installed yarn package or npx, you can just go ahead and run the command, and it will ask you few questions and it will create the project. And if you want to do it manually, you can just install these three dependencies: Next, React and React DOM, and you can add in your package.json these three scripts which is required to run a Next.js application. Now so once you have done that, you will be able to basically run our Next.js project. Now let's come back to the project and see how the project structure looks like. So we'll start by going in the package.json. So let's explore that. So inside package.json, you will see it's very simple and very few things are there, and it only uses three dependency: React DOM, React and Next. And in the script, if you'll see, we have three things: dev, build and start. Dev we use when we are developing our Next.js application, and whenever you will want to build your application, build the website, generate a static website and host it, you will just run the build command, and after that you can run the start command. So start will basically serve all the static files that has generated through build command, and it is not recommended to use it in production. So if you are doing that, you should in production you should ideally use a reliable server like Nginx or some other servers. Then you can see we have .next folder, which is just a configuration folder for Next.js, so you don't have to worry about that. Then we have pages, then we have public and styles. Inside public, you can see we have all the assets that we want to made available on the route basically. So things like manifest on robot.txt, those things you can store it here. You can see we have stored our logo and favy icon, which basically appears on the browser tab. Apart from that, we have pages folder. Inside pages, we can see there are three things: two files and one folder. So we have index.js. So when you open the index.js, you will see that it's nothing fancy here. It's just normal React.js component. So we are just creating a home component and we are exporting it. Now inside that, if you'll see, we have normal HTML codes that we write usually in our React application. So this thing is getting basically rendered when you will start the development server for Next.js. Apart from that, if you see, we have head tag. So this head tag is basically coming from Next.js. So inside above you can see we have imported it also. So it comes from Next only, you don't have to install anything. So head is basically used to modify the head tags, head related tags in your HTML documents like title, link or anything else. So if you go to the underscore app.js, the app.js is basically a default component which comes from next.js, and here you will see we are importing the global CSS. So Next has this feature where you can only import global.css file in the app component only, the default app component. Elsewhere you will have to import only module based CSS files. So here we are basically overriding the default Next.js app component. So you can see that we have component and then page props, so nothing fancy here as well. So it's a simple configuration. Then here you can see the global CSS is only imported. So if you want to import CSS based to specific modules, right, so for that you will have to basically create a CSS file with the proper name. So let's go to the index.js, and here you can see that we are importing CSS. So not every CSS file can be imported here. Only the files which starts with module.css, not start but ends with module.css, can be imported. So in the style folder you can see that we have home.module.css. Here the module part is really important because Next.js looks for the module and it decides that it is being used by a specific component or for any specific page. So if you will not use the module in the file name, it will assume that it's a global CSS file and it should be only imported in the underscore app component. Then we have this API folder. Inside that we have hello.js API. So we'll not be looking into this API because it will basically complicate things. So we will just go as planned, and in the further video we will make use of this API folder. So there in the future we will learn about that as we move along in the video. Apart from that, once the project setup is done, you can just run the command yarn dev or npm run dev, and after a few seconds you can just look at the localhost 3000 and your website should be there. So it will look something like this. So this is a pre-made template which comes from Next.js. So if you click on these links, these are basically external links, so it will basically redirect to the Next.js website. So what we'll do is we'll try to modify few things. Let's go back to our VS Code and go back to the index.js. Here we can see these are the content that is appearing in the our development server. So we'll just change the title to something else and we'll see if this reflects on the websites or not. So remember that this title will only appear when the route is accessed. This means only when the index.js is getting loaded or rendered in the view. So now wait for compilation. Now it is compiled and you don't have to refresh it. You can already see that the title is updated. Now let's go ahead and change the text. So here you can see we have get started by editing. Alright, so we'll just change it to something else. So let's delete this code and let's write let's get started. Okay, and after refresh you can see it basically hot reloads the content in the website. So now let's go ahead and create one more file. So what will happen if we go to the unwanted routes? So this is getting hosted on the root. Let's go to about, which doesn't exist as of now, right? So let's go to about. So we can see that a 404 page could not found page is loaded, which is basically coming from Next.js library, which is a default page. We can override that page as well, but for now we'll see in the later video how we can do that. But for now let's create a about.js page and write a basic component. So this is nothing but a basic React.js component, and it will just return a HTML. So we'll write h1 tag and we'll just write a simple. This is just to demonstrate how you can create multiple pages. So I've written this is the about page, and now let's see. Let's again go back to the /about and see if this page is coming or not. So as you can see, the page is coming. So what happens is if you want to create a new page, you can just go ahead and you can create a component in the pages folder, and it will automatically create a new page for you. Then you will be able to navigate by the file name. Whatever file name have you given, you will be able to navigate through that. Now let's add a link in our home page to navigate to the about page. So we will go to the index.js and here we will just put a normal anchor tag. Okay, so okay, let's do that. Okay, here only we will add the anchor tag. So let's remove the okay, let's not remove, here only we can add. So I'm adding it in another p tag so that it comes as a block element. So in href it will be normal anchor tag. In href we will just pass the path of the about, so that is /about, and in the content we'll write about. Now let's see if it works or not. Okay, so here you can see we have the about link, and on click of about link the page gets navigated to the about page. Now let's add a link here as well. We'll try to go back from about to our home page, so just the slash will do, and we'll write. So okay, you can we have to wrap it in the empty tag, so that because in React we have to return a single HTML element, right? Okay, now we can see the home. Now if we'll click on home, it should. Okay, now we are coming back to back and forth between home and about page. But one thing to notice here is that whenever we are navigating, the page is getting reloaded, right? So this is the drawback of using just the anchor tag. So whenever we will navigate between links, the page will get reloaded. This means it will try to load all the global CSS and JS that we have provided every time navigation is happens. So there is a way to prevent that. So Next.js basically provides a link component which will refrain from using the refresh. So it will automatically identify which component we want to navigate to, and it will inside that only it will basically navigate. So we'll be looking into that in the next video. For now, you can see that we have already created a GitHub repository. So you can just go to the URL. I will paste it in the description, and you can go to the chapter 1. In chapter 1 you'll be finding all the codes till now that we have created, and further codes will be added in the same repository. We also have provided the link to the YouTube tutorial and how to get started with the application. Thank you so much for watching this video. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.